stirring in my heart. And forgive me if I get a little angry with this video, because it's just really stirring in me. And when it's, I guess it's righteous anger. I guess I was, I guess I was listening to an album last night. Now, I had heard the song before. I won't play it for you because what I have to say about it is negative. So, I don't want anybody to whatever. I was listening to a song last night. Now, it was not by the original artist, but the song is still the same. And it's a very popular song. I won't even mention the name because I don't want. It's by one of the most popular female artists of this generation. And in the song, it clearly says, under the guise of loving who you are and everybody's included, it clearly says, and I quote, another lover's not a sin, meaning the homosexual population and everything. Like, I've said this before. I said it is a sin, but we can get redeemed, and we have to love them, and they need to be loved back to what God's original intention for them was. But for someone as popular as this person to say that it is not a sin and to be blatant about it and to disguise it with, it goes for everybody, whether you're fat, fit, thin, Asian, black, white, everybody loving who they are. And you would say, oh yeah, that's good. But for them to throw that in there, it was so blatant. Anybody who knows the song knows those are the words. And I think this is how the devil's working, and we don't seem to see it. We're just so stuck in our churchiology, and I, like, it's not like I don't appreciate the music that we're coming up with, and God is holy and He's amazing, and yes, all that is true. But I find in Christian music, it doesn't tackles the God side of things. And He's great, and He's wonderful, and He'll be with you in the storm. But it neglects the human side of things. And I think there lies the problem. I think in music and in entertainment, we don't need to have, no offense to Christian movies at all, but I find they're just so, it's just so not what people are really facing. And when you tackle what people are really facing, that's where healing comes. So you have this person on one hand saying, it's totally okay, just be who you are. And that in itself is true, because the Lord said everybody's fearfully and wonderfully made. But for them to throw in there that being gay is not a sin is wrong, and we need to stand up and say, you know what, yes it is, and there's healing for it. And I'm not ashamed to say that. The Bible is the Word of God, and the Word of God will always stand. The Word of God, it doesn't matter what we think or what we feel, the Word of God has to always stand. And it doesn't mean that we have to go bashing them and they're terrible people and blah 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 and throwing them out of church and all that stuff. But we need to stand for something, and we need to have music that tackles those issues. See, I was saying that to a friend, and they kind of said, "What do you mean you don't like the worship music that's today?" I said, "It's not that I don't like it. It's that it doesn't tackle things that it should be tackling." So, yes, God is great and He's high and He's lifted up, but there's a whole other side to life that our music does not tackle. There's a whole other side to life that our movies don't tackle. It's life. God is not just king, and He's not just to be glorified. He is interested in life. He's interested in life, and we need to bring God into life. Because if we don't, and people don't know, like, for some people say God is too high and lofty. He's not high and lofty at all. He is king, He is all that. But He can reach down to the gutter and get you, and we need to start talking about that in entertainment. I think that we make God a little too rosy sometimes, and Christian music, in my opinion, it doesn't really speak to other aspects of life. And it should speak to other aspects of life, because God is in all parts of life. T.D. Jakes did a wonderful thing, so did Fred Hammond. Fred Hammond's new album is called Love, Romance, and God, or Love, God, and Romance. And he writes love songs in this album, and they're not love songs to Jesus predominantly. There are songs on there, but it's about human love. And I'm curious, why do we say that secular music is secular when it predominantly talks about love, and love comes from God? I don't understand it. I've never understood that. Why? Like, it baffles my mind that something that God's created is considered secular. I don't understand. God created marriage. God created the relationship. God created all that. And it's considered secular. I don't understand. I really don't understand. I really don't know. People, we need to wake up. We're losing a generation, and if we don't wake up, we'll continue to lose them. And it so baffles me. We have all these Christian movies that everything ends up okay. God does the miracle and whatever, but it doesn't really speak to life. It speaks to God and how great He is, but He knows how great He is. We don't need, like, I don't think we need another song about how great God is. To tell you the truth, I think we have a lot of those, and no offense to people who write those, there are wonderful worship songs that exalt God, and there are wonderful things, but there's more out there that we're afraid to touch. And if we are afraid to touch it, the world will touch it and give them the wrong message. And what we don't understand is it's so powerful. We're afraid to talk about stuff that is not Christian. See, I always get heck because my mother said, you know what? There's one part in your novel that, because I wrote a novel called Pictures of Silver. She said, you know, there's one part in your novel that is not Christian, and I said, I know, but that's the part we need to talk about. The parts that are not Christian, because those are the parts that people are dealing with. You see, I heard Juanita Bynum say something awesome the other day. She said, you know why people love Beyonce? You know why people love Lady Gaga? You know why people love Katy Perry? You know why people love all those secular singers? Because they're talking about things that people are really dealing with. But the problem is, when they don't have God, they talk about it from a worldly mindset. Those of us who have Christ need to be talking about it from a godly mindset. And if we don't, we're responsible and we have to give an account as to why we didn't do it. So we should have not only love songs out there, we should have songs, how do you deal with lust? Not how do you deal with it, not God will be with you with the lust storm or whatever, not I rebuke lust. But you know, I love how secular songs, most of them tell stories. They don't mostly talk about a subject, but they tell a story, and they bring to light a situation, whether it be a phony situation, whether it be a person's real life situation, and they talk about it as if it's a real situation. If you listen to any secular song, that's how it's set up. But why can't we do that and bring a godly perspective? When we start doing that, you'll see people flooding the church, because music can change the atmosphere. Entertainment, movies can change the atmosphere. But we're too busy being so churchy, we don't realize that. And I've had it. I don't know why we think secular stuff that talking about love and the love between a man and a woman that God has created is secular stuff. I don't understand why we think like that. I don't understand why we don't bring God into life in our music. It's wonderful that we have worship songs to the King, because he deserves to be exalted. He's so awesome that he deserves to be exalted. But we need to have other songs too that don't just say God will be with you in the storm. We need to have songs with stories, like the secular songs do. But instead of just leaving the story there, we need to bring a godly perspective to the world that they don't have. That feels better. Bye, YouTube. I was really on a tirade.